This case wastes no time pulling you in. Right from the opening seconds, the judge lays out a no-contest plea, which immediately signals that the defendant isn't planning to fight the charge directly. Then comes the real hook, a possible 90-day jail sentence, instantly raising the stakes. You can feel the seriousness right away, and it makes you wonder what led to this moment. Why would someone choose not to contest the case? What really happened in this accident? And most importantly, what outcome is waiting at the end of this courtroom process? This short intro sets a strong tone, quick, sharp, and full of curiosity that pulls you deeper into the case.
All right, I have before me a plea sheet. In this case, the defendant is going to plead no contest to the charge of failure to report an accident under 662 90-day offense. Upon a successful no contest plea, count one would be dismissed.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Now we move into the formal courtroom process, and this part is more important than it might seem at first glance. The defendant is sworn in, meaning every statement now carries legal consequences. The judge carefully explains what a no-contest plea actually means, not fighting the charge, yet still being treated as if guilty for sentencing purposes. That's a critical moment because many people misunderstand this decision. The defendant confirms he understands everything, including the rights he's giving up. There are no threats or promises involved, which shows this is a voluntary choice. Once the court accepts the plea, the direction of the case is set, and from here on, it's no longer about proving guilt but deciding the consequences.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Need you up at the podium, young man. Raise your right hand. Be sure.
solemnly sworn to affirm the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
State your name, please.
George Walker.
Sir, it is this court's understanding that you're going to plead no contest to the charge of failure to report an accident. That is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days of jail, $100 fine plus court costs. You understand that?
Yes.
You understand what a no contest plea is?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Two things about it I have to make sure that you understand. The first thing is that you need to understand that it means that you're not further desirous or wanting to contest this charge. You understand that? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
The other thing you need to understand is that for purposes of sentencing, the court would treat you the same as though you had pled guilty. You understand that?
Yes.
Basis for the no contest plea, Mr. Elm.
Potential civil liability, Your Honor.
Sir, to that charge, how do you plead?
No contest.
Now, you understand that by pleading no contest, you'll not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, sir.
You had previously signed an advice of rights form. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any question regarding any of those rights?
Your Honor.
Look at paragraph 5. You'll see a copy right there on the podium. Those are your rights which are part of a trial. You understand that by pleading no contest, you're giving up those rights as well as all the rights on that form.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you on probation or parole?
No, Your Honor.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today to get you to plead?
No, Your Honor.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No.
You're doing this voluntarily
Yes, Your Honor.
and of your own free will.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court has been provided Pittsfield Township Department of Public Safety report for their case number 25-11648. Any objections to the court having reviewed that report?
None from the people? No, Your Honor.
Based upon a review of that report, the court does find that there's a sufficient factual basis in which the court could determine the defendant's guilt of this offense. Sir, I do have to advise you, between the time of sentencing and the time of my acceptance of your plea, if you commit misconduct as defined under the Michigan court rules, the court would not be bound by any sentence recommendation or evaluation. You understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Counsel, are you aware of any other promises, threats, or other inducements which have led to this plea?
None from the people? No, Your Honor.
Have I complied with the court?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Court will accept the defendant's plea to count two.
This is where the real story begins to unfold through the victim's testimony. We start hearing detailed explanations about the crash, the damage caused, and the financial burden that followed. Photos are presented, repair costs are discussed, and insurance complications come into the picture, making things more complex. The numbers begin to add up, thousands of dollars in damages, and the victim tries to justify every expense and decision made after the accident. There's a clear sense of frustration as he explains the process, from contacting insurance to handling repairs. At the same time, as an observer, you start to question whether everything was handled in the most logical way. This section builds both emotional weight and financial stakes, forming the backbone of the case.
Count one is dismissed. I don't know that there'll be a necessity to send the defendant over. I would proceed to sentencing immediately if you, but I understand there's an issue regarding restitution.
Yes, Your Honor, and we do have the victim here. We were prepared to do a restitution hearing if the court wanted to hear testimony on that matter.
I would. Have a seat, no.
And after that hearing, Your Honor, if you wanted to do immediate sentencing, we would have no objection.
All right, very good. Why don't we try to get it out of the way? All right,
We'll call Daniel Cope.
sir, please come forward. Be sworn.
Will you take a seat, raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear to affirm the testimony about to give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Work class.
Daniel Pope, it's COPE.
All right.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing? Sir, were you involved in a crash on June 13th of 2025? What vehicle were you driving? Was there any damage that that vehicle suffered as a result of that crash? And I'm showing defense counsel has been pre-marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 1. I believe this will be admitted via stipulation, but I don't want to. So I'd move to admit what pre-marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 1 by stipulation.
All right.
May I approach the witness?
Swear.
So, sir, I'm handing you what's been admitted now. Exhibit 1, I have a copy for the court as well as the court would like. These are the photos that are in the report. Copy of them.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
Sir, this document in front of you, do you recognize these photographs? And do you recognize the vehicle in these photographs? Whose vehicle is that? All right. And so there's 3 photographs on this page, starting with the top left one. Can you describe what's in that photograph?
I'm sorry, Jan.
And it looks like there's some damage to that vehicle. Was any of that damage, or do you know what caused that damage?
The accident caused them.
Was any of that damage on the vehicle prior to the crash? All right. Going to the top right picture, what is that?
That is the left driver's side frame. The hole you see right there is where the crossover, the left crossman was connected to that hole right there to the frame. And you see, I don't know how good this picture is to you guys, but crossman was supposed to go in that hole right there, but got snapped off.
And how about the bottom left picture? What is that?
My driver's side, and left side.
Okay. Now, the condition of your vehicle in these pictures, is this the same condition that it was prior to the crash, aside from the damage?
This is no,
Was there any work done in between the crash and when these pictures were taken, to your knowledge?
like,
In between the crash and when these photographs were taken, was there any work done on the vehicle?
yes.
What work was done on the vehicle between?
Someone happened to crash, right?
So the crash occurred, and at some point these photographs were taken.
Yeah.
Oh,
No way, I'm sorry.
okay. Do you remember when these photographs were taken?
The day of the accident would be June 13th.
Did you ever seek to get the damage repaired?
After that, yeah, I mean, I plan on getting it repaired after the accident occurred.
All right. What did you do in order to get the damages repaired? Who did you talk to?
Well, first I had to make a claim for my insurance company. Damage, was, the insurance takes a little while to do. So I had to, that's the free I can,
What was the
Why didn't the insurance cover all the damage?
Well, I mean, I did have full coverage, and so the estimate, they gave me, I mean, based on the prices and those are like auto body shops and like that wasn't generally covered. So I guess because it's 2007, they don't want to cover the whole expenses, Your Honor.
Because they really totaled it out but let you keep the vehicle.
Yeah, good. The thing,
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Sir, did you ever take this to an auto shop for repair?
Yeah, I did.
Which auto shop?
It's what?
Does the name A2 Auto Group mean anything to you?
Yeah.
And when you went to that auto shop, was it for these damages or for something else? Did they ever provide you with any estimates or invoices related to these repairs?
Yes.
And what specifically did you have them try and repair, or did you ask them to repair?
Well, the first job, just for my safety, because it's my vehicle, I need to get the crossing. I was connected to the second picture on the top, the right side. That's where the crossing was connected to, and it was dangling there in about 3 years, so I need to keep that for something else causing more severe damages.
I'm showing defense counsel has been marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 3. I apologize, I'm going a little bit out of order here. May I approach the witness?
Man,
Sir, I'm handing you what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 3. Can you please take a look at that document and let me know if you recognize it?
Yes, I do.
What is that document?
That was the first job I had to get done for my GMT there, the cross member job.
And this document, but what specifically is the document?
It's showing the receipts and the cash of the money that I got to pay to get it fixed.
And is this a fair and accurate copy of that invoice or receipt? Are people move to admit what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibit number 3?
No, there.
Exhibit 3,
I have a copy for the court. The court would like that as well. May I approach?
yes.
Thank you.
And so, sir, looking at this document on the right-hand side near the top, there's some columns that say labor and description, and then on the left-hand side it says part and description. What is that, or what was being serviced?
So the cross member needed to be the reversible cross member, which the piece was connected to the frame. That needed to be placed because it was basically broke off, snapped off.
And then where it says total and balance due, it says total, I believe, is 1,200 and balance due is 0. What does that mean?
So that means that's pretty much the cost and labor for the job.
I guess what's the difference between those two lines? Do you know?
So still in the total 1,200. I don't think there is no difference. To be honest, it's just I think the mechanic wanted to just all shout itself together as one. You know what I'm saying?
Was there a problem with your cross member before this? Was there a problem with their support, their cross member before this? Accident.
When I got the ship a year prior before the accident, it was perfectly fine. It was, like I said, the truck came from a dealership saying I'm still paying for it. I mean, the truck was in mint condition. It was a nice truck, besides a little bit of rust. But I think it's pretty common for Michigan vehicles.
Fine.
Thank you. And so, sir, how much was paid out of pocket to replace that cross member?
Well,
I'm showing defense counsel's marked as proposed exhibit number 6. May I approach the witness? Sir, I'm hearing people proposed exhibit number 6. Do you recognize this document? And what is that?
that is the main receipt from the bottom again.
Is that a fair and accurate copy of that receipt for that invoice?
Yes, it is.
People argue that it was marked as proposed exhibit 6 into evidence.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Exhibit 6, admitted.
May I publish to the court?
Thank you.
And so, sir, who actually paid this $1,200? Other than that cross member, what other repairs did you get done?
Yeah, well, the pictures right here from the first picture was the body needed to be done, and then the driver's side cab needed to be replaced. Yeah,
Did you ever get an estimate for how much it would cost to get that done?
after calling around, that's why I came to the conclusion of H2 Auto. He was the cheapest one, and the estimate was, well, it was about $5,000.
How many different auto shops or dealerships did you speak to in order to get an estimate for these repairs?
Insurance gave me, I think, 2 of them, they recommended for me to reach out to see how much they would charge, and it was too out of my price range. It was too expensive.
Do you remember how much the estimate was for those two that your insurance recommended?
It was, the first one, I think, when I first reached out to the first one, they said it's gonna take about over a month to repair the damages, you know what I'm saying? And I can't really tell you the bottom dollar how much I know it was not more than what we could manage.
So you got no written
No
estimates from these other places?
No.
Go ahead.
I'm showing defense counsel's marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 2. May I approach the witness?
You ain't.
Sir, I'm handing what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 2. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is all the breakdown of what it took to replace the cab. See, Sarah.
And is this so is it fair to say this is an estimate for that repair? And is this a fair and accurate copy of the estimate that you got from A2 Auto Group as it relates to these damages?
Sir.
People move to admit what's been marked as people propose exhibit 2 into evidence.
No, Your Honor.
Exhibit made. Right. That's, yeah.
So, sir, looking at this, what was the estimate from A Auto Group for the repair to the cab and the body?
Well, after I explained, after I told him what the insurance was going to give me to cover the difference, he told me he would probably an additional $3,000 to do the job.
What was the quote from the dealership for how much it would cost to repair your vehicle's damage for the body, not the cross member, just the body?
Right? So his quote was 49.
Is that the 49.39.64 on page 2? Okay. And of that, how much did you say your insurance would cover?
The insurance, I believe they 19. But 1988.
So I've shown defense counsel as marked as people's proposed exhibit 4. May I approach the witness?
You may.
So I'm handing you what's been marked as people's proposed exhibit 4. Do you recognize that document?
Yes.
What is it?
So this is more of a better numbers, more of the facts. The insurance check was 1932 for my insurance.
But what is this document?
Yeah, sorry. This is the document showing what the insurance was gonna get, they was covering me for my truck.
And is this a fair and accurate copy of that letter from your insurance?
Yes.
People move to admit what's been marked as people's proposed exhibit 4 into evidence.
No objection.
No, Your Honor.
Exhibit 4 is admitted. But they paid that check to you, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
May I approach to publish the report?
Yes.
So, sir, the amount of that check that Progressive gave to you, is that the total payment amount on this document, that 1932?
Yes.
All right. And so when we take the estimate of the 49.39.64 from, that would be people's 2, how did that 1932 go towards the $4,900 estimate?
Yeah, so that's the candidate.
And so how much did you end up actually paying out of pocket for those repairs?
I was just a body job, and the cost was $3,000.
I'm showing defense counsel as marked people's proposed exhibit 5. If I may approach the witness.
May.
Sir, I'm handing you people's proposed exhibit 5. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is the receipt the mechanic gave me for the job, for the cab job.
And is this a fair and accurate copy of that receipt for the repairs for the body damage?
Yes,
People move to admit what's been marked as people's proposed exhibit 5 into evidence.
Admitted.
Permission to publish?
Yes.
So, sir, you paid, or who paid the actual $3,000 on this receipt?
yes.
So in total, that makes the total payments from your fiance how much?
With the cost number, it came to about 4,200.
Other than the A2 Auto Group and the 2 insurance recommended mechanics, was there anyone else that you spoke to about getting these repaired?
No, but I do, can I say this? I do know this much, that the ones they recommended was more money than what I'm at from this
Okay.
shop. Let me out of pocket.
So how much total are you requesting in restitution?
I just want, I guess, prepare.
Now the tone shifts dramatically as the defense begins cross-examination, and this is where the pressure really builds. Every detail from the victim's testimony is questioned: insurance payouts, deductibles, repair timelines, and choices made after the accident. The central issue becomes clear. If the insurance already paid out, is the victim now asking for more than what's fair? The questioning becomes sharper, and you can sense uncertainty creeping into the responses. The defense highlights decisions that may not have been financially optimal, suggesting that some of the losses could have been avoided. This creates a turning point in the case, where doubt starts to grow and the narrative begins to shift away from a straightforward claim to something more complicated and debatable.
All right, pass the witness at this time.
What are you considering fair?
So my truck, as of today, Your Honor, is fine. My truck is good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy with that, you know, but it's a struggle to be my fiance. We all have our struggles, you know. It takes a lot out of our savings to do, you know, fix my truck. So I mean, on behalf of her part, that's why I'm here today. I mean, if you ask my fiance, she wants the whole amount what she out of pocket back. But you know, I'm not a greedy man, you know. I mean, I just, you know, that's why I come down to the conclusion. Just
What are you considering to be fair then, sir?
I'll be happy by this. Okay, so I missed 3 days of my job coming here, you know. So I mean, fair. I mean, I just say I ain't trying to get everybody. I mean, it's a struggle for everybody on it, you know.
I understand that, but what are you considering fair? I'm trying to clarify the last answer you gave.
I think fair would be at least the body job, the 3,000 for the body.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
I'm gonna remain seated here, so if there's anything you can't hear me say or don't understand, just let me know and I'll speak up and try to clarify myself, okay?
Okay.
So you testified that when you reached out to your insurance, technically they totaled your truck, correct?
They gave me the option to total it.
Okay. Versus getting it fixed?
Yeah, just the fact because I was still paying for this truck on my dealership.
Okay. And you said you have full coverage, correct?
Yes, sir.
So if you have full coverage, wouldn't that mean that your insurance would cover the rest of these repairs outside of your deductible?
In my opinion, from my experience, that's just insurance being insurance.
Okay, but you have $1,000 deductible on your insurance policy?
Yes.
Did you pay that $1,000?
I think that's what they took away from the check they gave already. That's minus deductible.
So basically, they totaled your truck out for $2,932.19 and subtracted your deductible from it. Is that what you're saying?
I think in a way, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so they did.
Well, you think so. That's what they did, isn't it? They gave you the option to total it,
Yeah.
which means they would take the truck and pay you money,
Yeah.
but they didn't do that.
Yeah. Because you know, in my opinion, my truck's worth more than what they was going to
I
try.
understand what your opinion may be, but I'm just trying to get a clarification on what your insurance company did. Insurance company did is they gave you the option. They paid what they would pay, which was basically $2,900. Took your deductible of $1,000. You got to keep the truck and whatever that was worth, and they gave you money.
I think so. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, go ahead, Mr.
Thank you, Your Honor. And sir, I want to make sure this accident happened on June 13th, 2025, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you get any estimates before you reached out to your insurance?
No.
So how do you know how they came up with the number of what your truck was worth then?
Honestly, I don't know how they came up with that number.
Okay. And you were showing a couple exhibits here. One was a document you provided from Progressive, correct?
Yes.
And that document is dated June 25th, 2025.
Are we looking at people?
The Progressive document.
Oh, yes.
Yes. June 25th. Yep.
Okay. And so this accident occurred on June 13th, 2025, correct? So 10 days later, you had essentially resolved this issue with your insurance, correct? And how many vehicles do you own that you drive?
Just the one, sir.
Just the one truck? And with a broken cross member, is the vehicle drivable?
It's not safe to drive, the broken cross member.
Okay. Yet, you waited, and it looks like, and I don't have the exact exhibit number, but the date of the estimate for the cross member. That's dated July 12th, correct?
Yes.
So you waited after the insurance paid you out, you waited an additional 2 to 3 weeks to have your vehicle checked out.
The vehicle was posted,
Okay, but you didn't drive for 2 or 3 weeks?
not with the cross member.
Okay. But again, it sat there after you received the insurance check, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then even later, and I just want to find the date here, I believe it is July 17th, that's when you got the quote for the body repair. Correct?
But I sent you.
It's I don't know the number, that might be. The 4,900,
That's people's two.
do you see that date on that, sir?
On the 49 page.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay. So July 17th is when you got that estimate, correct? Nearly a month after the accident. And after insurance had paid you out on this, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you're saying you did not drive that truck that entire time?
No.
Okay, why did you wait so long?
Oh, I mean, it was a job, you know, and we saved, we tried to get a house and it's a lot going on, and we just had to manage what was the insurance was gonna cover, and, you know.
And again, insurance had basically said this truck is not worth any more than the 2,900, right?
They did not say that, they did not say it was not worth that. They didn't give that option. They insurance. They know when they struck.
And your insurance, similar to a medical provider, correct? They have repair shops that they choose to work with,
My insurance did, yes.
and you chose not to work with any of the shops that your insurance works with, correct?
Yes, correct, based on these receipts, these numbers on the receipts would have been a lot more than, you know, it is if I would have went through the insurance.
But if you, so you have full coverage, and if you would have chosen not to total your truck, your insurance would have covered the entire thing, correct?
But if that's one of the truck, I would have gotten it, but I put it in the truck.
But you did total the truck, that's why they sent you the check. That's why you didn't have to pay your deductible.
They gave me the truck to fix the damages based on what, you know,
But you never paid that $1,000 deductible, did you?
they added that deductible to the 1,900.
Right, so they subtracted it from essentially 2,900, so you never actually paid them, correct?
Insurance,
Correct,
I never paid insurance.
right, so if your insurance would have covered the repairs, how that works, and correct me if I'm wrong. But you pay that $1,000 and they cover the rest, that's the point of full coverage, correct?
For the $1,000 deductible, right?
Yes, you would pay the $1,000 of either to your insurance or to the repair shop as your portion deductible. The insurance company would pay the repair shop the rest, correct?
Yeah, so with the 1,900 again, yeah, like you were saying, that's with the 1,000 deductible. So it's like you said, it was like 29.
No, I think you're misunderstanding me, sir. If you had paid that deductible, your insurance company is Progressive, they would have paid A2 Auto Group or whichever auto group you had chosen to go through, correct?
They would have paid a little bit, they would have paid, you know, the 19.
But you did choose to total your car.
No, yeah, I mean, I think it actually fallen in total,
Okay.
but I'm still, you know, like I said, the truck's got a lot of life into it, you know?
I understand that.
And for record, these trucks, based on facts, they go up to 500,000 miles. And my truck's only barely at 119. The truck's got a long life ahead of it.
Okay, and it's a 2007?
Yeah, but a lot of 2007 trucks are really nice. Inexpensive.
So what was your insurance company put a value on that vehicle, right?
The
They
insurance,
would have paid you a certain dollar amount, but taken the truck.
well, like, I mean, I feel like it wasn't justified for the insurance.
Not, I'm not asking what you feel. What your insurance company said is we would give you 2,900 for the truck. That's really what they said to you.
Instead of giving me the check, right?
Well, they would have given you 2,900 and taken the truck, right?
I believe so.
Okay. And so what they did, and they gave you the other option that they gave you was, okay, you're gonna keep the truck. You need to pay your deductible, we'll give you the balance. And that's where the 1,900 some odd comes from, right? So at the time of the accident, your insurance company had valued that truck at 2,900, basically $3,000, $2,900.
To the insurance, selected, yes.
That's what they valued the truck. Okay. You don't have any further questions, do you?
No, you're all right.
Good. Any redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
This is the final stretch where everything comes together and the outcome is decided. Both sides present their arguments, one pushing for full restitution based on the damages, while the other argues that the victim has already been compensated through insurance. The defendant speaks briefly, showing accountability and a desire to move forward. Then the judge steps in with a detailed breakdown, carefully explaining the legal reasoning behind the decision. The key point is that the victim is considered made whole, meaning he has already received what the law sees as fair compensation. Because of that, no additional restitution is awarded. It's a powerful conclusion that shows how courtroom decisions rely on logic and legal principles, not just emotion or personal hardship.
Thank you. You may step down.
Your Honor, people have no additional witnesses.
Any witnesses for the defense?
No, you're.
Any argument?
Your Honor, I think the court's heard all the testimony. I believe the witness said he'd be asking for $3,000. I would ask the court order $3,000 restitution for the damage that the victim has shown through the receipts. Thank you.
Your Honor, I believe that damage should be capped at $1,000, which is the amount that this individual's out for the cost of his deductible. I find a lot of things in this case interesting. The fact that he did take the payout prior to even getting estimates to fix the work. He chose to not go through repair shops that would have been potentially fully covered by the insurance. That's the point of having insurance. I think, and I think there's almost a double dip at the apple here, where he's received the insurance payout, and now is asking my client to cover the work that, if his truck was worth it, his insurance would have covered. And so I think what he is realistically out based on the actions of my client is that $1,000 deductible that was deducted from $2,900, $32.19 amount when he was sent the check for $1,932.90.
We're just going to take a brief recess. I'll come back to my decision on it as well as sentencing.
Thank you, Dr. Paul. Rise.
Is there anything that you wish to say before I do impose sentence on this case?
Your Honor, just that Mr. Walker is a young man who made a mistake here. He's here taking accountability for his actions and wishes to move forward from this in the most positive way that he can.
Anything you want to say, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. I am just like my public defender said, I am a good young man, and if I felt liable for these charges, I would have paid them all without question.
Just talking about.
Yeah, other than that, I'm just grateful to have you as my. Thank you.
All right. In this case, the to send to the court, I'll order fines and costs in the amount of $350. I will also spend 90 days in jail with reference to the restitution. And it sometimes can get complicated with automobile crashes. Certain limitation when somebody doesn't have insurance as to what they can collect, or if they had PLPD, what they can collect. In this case, it even gets more complicated in a sense, because, and I'm going to give a couple scenarios in terms of assessing the damage. First of all, individual will be entitled to the restitution for their loss. They are to be made whole. That doesn't mean that they can get a new vehicle. And so those would be sort of the extremes in terms of looking at it. In this case, what the victim chose to do is causes maybe for them a certain problem with the restitution. The only value I know for this vehicle is what Progressive valued the vehicle. That is $2,932.19 is what they valued that vehicle. Now, it may have had a greater value, and I'll explain that, but that's the only value that's before that I have. He could have chosen, and the insurance company gave him an option. He could have taken the $29,32.19. The insurance company would have taken as scrap, in essence, the truck, and then theoretically everybody's done, in theory. But had he done that and then shown that the vehicle was actually worth more, but the insurance company wasn't going to pay him more, he might have been entitled to restitution for what that actual value was. But I don't have that before me. What he elected to do instead was, and he was very honest, and I appreciated his testimony, what he elected to do instead was, I won't take the payout. I will, in essence, keep my vehicle, pay my deductible, and get the back balance, or get the excess amount. So if you follow the math here and the calculation here, what really ends up happening is he's paying $1,000 for that truck is really what's happening. And so he's whole in that regard in a lot of ways, because if he had done it the other way, what would have happened is he would have taken the 2,900, I'll just call 3,000. He would have taken the 3,000. They would have taken the truck. He would have said the truck is worth more, and then he would have come after him for what that amount was. That's how he would have been made whole. But he's been made whole because he has the vehicle. But that doesn't mean he again gets to take that vehicle back to what he says the condition was. Because in theory, that's not part of his loss, I don't think. And so he made a decision. Now, why would somebody make that decision? I understand why he made the decision, and again, why I appreciate his testimony. He made that decision because had he taken the 3,000, he would have gotten the 3,000, they would have taken the truck, and he would have actually never seen the 3,000. Why would he have never seen the 3,000? Because there's a lien holder. They would have paid it over to the lien holder, and he'd still have to pay on this truck that he no longer has. I get why he made the decision that he made, but that doesn't mean that he has a loss that this defendant is responsible for. He made his financial decision, and he has his truck, which he says has that value of going up to 500,000 miles. Again, most people know I'm a Ford guy. That's a Chevy. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I say that facetiously. But I'm just saying there is no loss. The $1,000, he paid $1,000 for that truck, is what he did. Bottom line. And then he got the extra money. He could put that toward repairs. He could have put that toward anything he wanted. So for those reasons, and based upon what's before the court, I am not going to order restitution of it. When can you pay the fines and costs of $350?
Your Honor, can we have a couple of weeks, please?
Pay it by April 15th.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Are we ready?